Welcome back. I'm back in the host chair, Brett Merriman, with my lovely co-host, Sally DeFreeze. Sally, it's good to see your face.
Welcome back.
It's
Brett.
been a couple weeks.
I know. You've got a mustache now.
I do. I'm full in Top Gun guy.
Oh,
Who saw
is that
it
why?
and yeah.
I still haven't seen Top Gun.
You need to.
I know.
You need to. Generational movie.
I want to see it. It's just like such a hassle to go to the movie theater, and like Will saw it without me, so I'm like not gonna go by myself.
Although,
I could go by myself.
I'm not anti going by myself to the movies.
I'm not either, but I feel like for Top Gun, it's like that's a movie I want to see with somebody else. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we made the joke like it's a horny movie. It's a lot of good looking people.
Yeah.
So you can go with your significant other, and that's probably the move.
Yeah.
But I was in Montana. Will didn't know that I was going to a wedding. He thought I was just vacationing for 5 days.
He was very confused.
Yeah. So I had to apologize to him. I was like, no, I had a wedding, and we don't have like a day and a half early to just get some gallivanting in.
Some time.
Yeah. So he's like, I saw the wedding pictures. I was very confused. Like, yeah, that was the.
You probably did tell him. He just doesn't pay attention very well.
It was a good time though. How was your weekend?
Well, we did a quick 24-hour jaunt to LA.
Ooh.
Which was I'm sure Will's already talked about on another podcast. Was very fun. And I highly recommend to anybody. 24 hours feels like almost pointless, but it worked out really well for us. Like everything went really smoothly.
Okay.
Flights got in on time, left on time. It was kind of one of those things. We were obviously going for the Dead and Company show. So like, I'm not going to just try to go see a city in 24 hours. Like I'm just saying if there's an event that I want to go to in the future, like maybe a wedding or something that I'm like, I don't have tons of time. And maybe I'm not super close to the people that it's the wedding, or we want to go to a concert or whatever. I'm not ruling it out for doing it again, because basically we flew out in the morning. We got there like right before lunch. And then I reached out to two of my really good girlfriends who live there. And I was like, hey, we're coming. It wasn't really last minute, but I was like, we don't have a ton of time. So if we see you, great. If we don't, no pressure. And it just happened to fall into place that like I had lunch with one of my friends and her fiance, which was really fun. And then we went back to the hotel, hung by the pool for a little bit, then went to the concert. And then I texted my other friend. I was like, do you want to meet for drinks? And we met them for drinks after the concert. Then we literally like went to bed, got up the next morning, took a flight home.
Boom.
Flawless.
Little 24-hour trip.
It felt, we had planned it probably a month in advance, but it felt very spontaneous while we were doing it. And like for two people who have been married for a while and like have a kid, it's hard to do shit like that.
Yeah, sure.
And you like miss the whole, like, the first day of vacation, you're like so amped up. And then the last day of vacation, you're like, oh, I gotta like fly home tomorrow, and you have anxiety about it all. Like that's all within the same 24-hour period. So you don't have time to like the whole day is your first day of vacation, and then the whole second day is like whatever, I'm flying home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I think I would be a little stressed if anything goes wrong. Like if a flight gets delayed, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. The flight not being delayed was clutch, and had we been able to fly direct, I think it would have been a lot easier.
Oh, that's right. You did Phoenix,
we had to connect in Phoenix, which was not a big deal.
Yeah, fine.
But that was like my only thing. I was like, if we get delayed, I'm going to be sad. But it was great. We had a great time.
I don't hate that. How was, are you a Deadhead now? Was that your first Grateful Dead show? Is that your girl's
first show?
Wow.
I actually weirdly knew some of the songs. Will listens to a lot of their music in the car, so I could pick stuff out. And I've been like singing stuff in my head all week.
Wow.
So maybe I'm a Deadhead now.
He kind of had a hot take here that he said that John Mayer looked like he has more fun at that show than his own show.
Yes.
Because he can be a little more like less pressure type of thing.
Well, okay. And so for someone I'm not a huge concert goer, like I am, but I get really anxious about big crowds. I get really stressed about not having a seat.
Same.
So at Dodger Stadium, there was like a general admission area where people were like standing close to the stage. And then we had like a seated area, but like no one in our area was like sitting in their seat. Obviously we were standing the whole time, but people were like really spread out and like dancing. As far as a show goes, like that was a chill one to go to. You're going to a jam band. It's not like Justin Bieber when we went, who was also really fun. I was surrounded by like 10-year-old girls screaming their faces off. So that was really enjoyable. But I looked at him like 2 songs in and I was like, John Mayer is like living his best life right
Yeah.
now. He's like just wearing like cargo pants and a t-shirt and like headphones. And he just was like, honestly, I told Will, I was like, this is like the most attracted I've ever been to John Mayer in my
Wow.
life. Like he
Okay.
just really looked hot.
He looked in it like in his element. Like he knows he's not like he doesn't have to be the main.
Right. Like we saw him a few months ago
Yeah.
at Moody Center and
Mhm.
you can tell he's like, he's putting on I mean, he's a great musician. I feel
Right.
like anytime I see musicians, you're like, or anybody who's like doing their job really well. That's how I feel when I see like Will podcasting. You're just like, that's attractive, you know?
It's my man.
Yeah. But there was something different. It's like he is just like having fun and it's not
Mhm.
like a job to him.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas touring, he has to open up old wounds and
Like he
Like s-
probably really doesn't want to play fucking
your body's a wonderland. Yeah.
And he
said
has
it.
to.
He says as much. He's just
Yeah.
like
And
You
like
guys know
here
that
he's
I
just
hate
like hanging
doing
out
this.
with like old dudes like
jamming.
and jamming.
And he doesn't know what he's gonna play next. He's just
It's probably
Incredible.
like really shitty to be a musician that's been famous for a really long time. And like
Mhm.
same thing for Justin Bieber, like having to play Baby. He's probably like, oh my God, seriously? Like
yeah.
it's been 15 years.
That's
Like
why these guys do new stuff that's so different from their old stuff. 'Cause
Right.
It's like creatively, they're just tired of that shit, but
yeah.
the fans love it. Like it's
I mean,
It's
when we went to
crazy.
Justin Bieber, there were girls screaming about Baby, and I was like, "This song came out before you were born, so stop."
like legitimately. before you-
Legitimately,
I was on a big One Direction kick this morning.
have you listened to Harry's House?
Yeah, I have. I
It
have.
is hot, hot heat.
I thought it was good.
What Harry's
I
House?
thought it was good.
You got to run it back. You got to just keep playing it because
Okay.
it's. I think I kind of felt that way the first time I heard music for a sushi restaurant. I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Now it's like my number one.
It's
like,
got to earworm you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it needs. Okay.
It's my
that
number one.
happens to me,
Like
by the
getting
way.
ready summer song.
I heard big on Reels lately. I
Uh-huh.
like to scroll Reels in the morning
Instead of TikTok.
instead of TikTok. Yeah.
Okay.
I wake up at 7:30, scroll Reels until 8, and then get ready between 8 and 8:30 to go to work before 9. That's
Okay.
kind of my current routine.
Okay.
There is a no direction. There's a One Direction song called Night Changes.
Oh, hello. I love Night Changes.
And there's like a real version, like somebody has done a cover where it's like a crowd singing it.
Uh-huh.
And you set a reel to like, like an inspiration or a trip you take or like a beautiful sunset type of thing. And I'm obsessed.
Can
So
we make one for mail-in?
Oh, we absolutely can.
We got to up our social game anyway. Let's
We
make a
do.
Night Changes reel.
Night Changes real. Deal. It's not Harry's Night Change, it's One Direction's Night Change. But it is
Okay.
that song and it's so good. I
Do we
listen
need to
to it all
go
the
do
way.
something like be walking around at sunset to like make this reel seem plausible?
Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. I'll find the sound and
Okay.
show you what we're working with, but
It's going to take us
good.
like a month to do this because we never hang out after recording.
no, you know what you do? We can just go to the bar at the bar by your place of residence.
Yeah.
And do something like a
We were there
sunset
last
one.
night. Yeah,
Boom.
we'll do it.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do the mail-in now. How
Okay.
about that? If you would like to leave a voicemail like we have today, hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write it in the link in the Twitter bio or at the bottom of this episode at Mail In Podcast. By the way, subscribe on iTunes and follow on Spotify, but you guys know that. First one, Sally, kind of a funny one here.
Okay.
This is a dad pod question, but I'm going to shoot my shot here anyway. I know you all are likely a little ways away from this, but with 3 boys, how do you plan to talk to your kids about, quote, X-rated content? If your kid sleeps over at a friend's house, do you think you'll talk to their parents about internet or channel blockers, perhaps?
Should they
Have you thought about this?
This on the dad pod?
They should, but
Okay, we can talk about it.
I want your answer, and I think I have a different answer than you.
So Lily and I actually have talked about this because obviously
Mhm.
Bane and Fritz are the same age, and I feel like they're gonna go through shit at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I'm like I truly feel like it's gonna end up happening where one of us has to tell the other kids
Oh, 100%.
other
They're going to
one's
hear from
kid.
somebody at school if
Right.
they're on the same class.
And they're going to be like sleeping over, and I'm going to end up having to have like the sex talk with
Yeah.
Fritz and Bane at the same time,
Mhm.
which I really don't want to do. So Will and I have talked about this with a different couple recently, and I was like, personally, I feel like when Fritz gets to a certain age where he, I don't know, starts like jacking off and shit, I think that's I get to punt that to Will. It's his
Yeah,
responsibility.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
Like, I don't know anything about that. You know, like I never had to go through puberty as a boy, so like Fritz gets to talk about. I mean, Will gets to talk about that with Fritz, and vice versa. If we have ever a daughter, like I'm going to talk to her about period stuff. That's not Will's wheelhouse. I'm, you know, like
No, that's true.
He doesn't need to talk about stuff like that. But I do think I'm more of the belief of like, I was really naive as a kid. And even though I unfortunately had to sit through the sex talk twice, once with my older sisters and then again with my little brother and little sister. So I got it.
Really bridge the gap.
Yeah. I think earlier is better just because of how much kids are exposed to everything now. And I don't want Fritz and possible future children finding out from like their like twerpy little friend at school.
Which something's going to happen like that, whether it's a word or sex stuff. Like I just think of how like 5th grade, like school bus talk where everybody's like, oh,
yeah,
like this and that. And then I remember like my first like movie boobs. Everybody remembers, Randy remembers his.
What were your first movie boobs?
Old school.
Okay.
In between 6th and 7th grade. The scene where they, you know, the lube wrestling scene.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Before that, Great Outdoors. Everybody knows it's an R-rated movie. But like, I think that's the first exposure. But I think my answer here is I'm not going to like deliberately, especially if say you have a son, I'm not going to be the deliberate, like you can't see that. You can't watch that until you're 16 or 18. Like, I just don't think it's, one, feasible. And two, I think of the way I was brought up, and it's kind of like once you found out about it, like I never had the direct talk with my parents. Like, okay, this is what this is what that is. It was kind of a more like, you know what that is? Like, yep, okay, yeah, good. But I think it's just kind of naturally happens. But I'm not going to be the helicopter. Like, no, don't you dare do that. But I'm certainly not going to be like, here's my internet password when you and your like 12-year-old buddies come over.
And see, the thing is, I think what I think now about this, Instagram literally just served me an ad saying that they have like parental blockers now and stuff. By the time that this matters in like, I don't know, 10 years, it's like everything's going to be changed. There's probably going to be fucking porn robots that are like at people's houses or some shit that I'm going to have to deal with.
Porn robots. Can I get a porn robot for my birthday, Mom?
Yeah,
no,
like
no, Fritz. You can't.
So it's
unless you clean it.
It's something that I've definitely put off thinking about because
you're not there yet.
I don't want to deal with it.
Man, I'd like to hear Dylan's answer to this question. Just like, what parts is 7?
Yeah,
8.
But kids are aware, like especially like, I don't know, when they get to a certain age and they are everything is very, between probably the ages of like 5 and 7, very concrete in the way that they think of like genitals and like boobs and a penis and and you have to like really explain what that is and why a girl has one thing and why a boy has another thing. And like all they can think about is like, you know, they'll be very blunt, be like, I just remember my nieces going through this and be like, those are your boobs. Like, and you're just like, okay, great.
Yep. Yeah. I'm thinking about like the first time we did like remember the anatomy charts was kindergarten for us.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is what
because you like learn about privates.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was like that. We had, I think it was like one of those special weeks of the year where like another teacher would come in and be like, this is
sex ed.
This is health week. But it was sex ed
for kindergarten.
For kindergartners. But also
you were like
it was
learning
like,
to put on condoms and stuff too.
No, God.
I'm kidding. Randy looks so upset.
Randy's from like his Midwestern.
He's like, no,
elementary school. He's like, no.
only, you guys.
But yeah, it was kindergarten. I remember it like vividly. Being
because
like,
kids are learning about their bodies. Like they have to know like what they're like, how to be clean.
Yeah,
and like,
right. Exactly. It was a lot of that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, super interesting. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be the dad that sort of like acknowledges it. Just like, yep.
You're going to let your
You,
kid watch like American Pie at like age 9.
well, there's so there's like the the drinking argument is like, are
Yeah.
you gonna let your kid drink at 16, 17, 18 so they don't get to college for the first time and black out?
I mean, that was me. I blacked out for the first time in college.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably my friends who drank more in high school drank less in college.
Right. But
at the same time, like, were they really emotionally and physically prepared to be blacked out at the age 15? Like,
No.
probably not.
No. And I don't, let me rephrase. I wasn't getting hammered
Yeah.
Until like senior year of high school, summer. But like I'd have a beer at
Yeah.
17, like at Thanksgiving dinner or something like that. Just
Yeah.
kind of,
I drank.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think, again, that's a personal choice.
Personal choice for sure. You want to know a personal choice that I've made recently?
I've made the same one. So yeah, let's talk
Switching to athletic greens, Sally. I don't know if a sponsor has ever captivated me so quickly in terms of what I put in my body and in terms of how good I feel. Athletic greens, I literally use it every day. Because
it's easy.
It's easy. I don't think I'm never going to eat the healthiest on the planet. Like, I'm just not going to be the salad for breakfast, lunch, dinner guy. But athletic greens, what it does is get me on the right track as far as what I'm putting in my body on a daily basis.
So I have been targeted by Athletic Greens prior to them becoming our sponsor. And I was about a millimeter away from pressing the order button because I was like, honestly, all the people that I like love to follow actually talk about it like it's great. It really cannot be that great. I got to see. Then we got it. And I was like, okay, here we go. I'm going to try it out. And it's, first of all, for some reason, the like habit of drinking it has been a lot easier to pick up than me actually taking vitamins. Like,
weirdly, yeah. I'm like, oh, let me wake up and do it.
It makes me feel like very like healthy and with it. So I'm like, I'm going to do my drink.
Do my drink.
Yeah, no, but you're like, oh, I'm just like, my body is a temple right now. I'm going to like drink this before I have any food or anything like that. And it really has like become part of my ritual. Because we don't like have the water in our refrigerator doesn't come out like ice cold. I mix it at night before and keep it in the fridge.
Oh, look at you.
I personally think it tastes better when it's really cold.
Okay.
And so then I'm like, I get it while I go to work. I drink it. It's become like part of my ritual.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It is the best. So what is this stuff? With one scoop of athletic greens, it's like you put, take the scoop, take up the powder, put it in your water, mix it up. That's all you do. It's easy. You can put it in your smoothies like I have.
Yeah.
But you don't need to. Just right in a glass of water. Boom. So with one scoop of AG, and AG1 specifically, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. Like the story is kind of interesting. It was just like this guy, he had gut health issues, and he's like, I'm tired of trying to find all these supplements and taking handfuls of these things. Like, why can't I just do one? Let me just do one. So he created Athletic Greens, and here we are. It's incredible.
What do you think about the taste?
Kind of like a tropical bubble gum, if I had to describe it.
I think it's like a watered down pineapple.
And
I'm not like, I'm going to be honest with everyone here. I was like, I'm worried about this.
Okay.
Because I personally don't do well with stuff like that.
Okay.
It's been super easy. Does it like taste amazing? Like, it's not a milkshake.
No,
let's be
not
honest.
a milkshake.
It's
but
like you're literally drinking greens. But for me, it's got like a light, watery pineapple. I love it when it's cold. It's 8 ounces. Super easy to chug.
Contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, and still tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I've noticed, since I've started taking it probably 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Mental clarity and alertness.
It's the adaptogens.
Is that what it is? I've been clear. I've been more clear and alert in the morning.
As someone who used to do adaptogens in my coffee, which again, this goes towards like the price of getting all of those different things is so much money. They also taste terrible. So you really have to like mask it,
Yeah.
this totally solves that problem, because not only are you not having to like search for a bunch of different jars of different powders, this already incorporates all of it. And then it also doesn't, you can literally drink it on its own.
Exactly.
Or you really, if you were like that stressed about it, you can mask it in a smoothie, which I've done before, but it's like, the adaptogens I could not take by itself. I had to always mask it in a smoothie. This I don't.
There you go. And you don't need to, honestly.
Right.
Sometimes I kind of do more of a chug if I'm running late. It tastes good enough that I can put it in my car on the way to work and sip it.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
Same.
And it costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit, Sally. And adaptogens, if you were taking them on their own. How about that? Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. 1 scoop of water every day. That's it. Boom. Or 1 scoop in a cup of water. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/mailin. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/mailin to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. How about a voicemail, Sal?
Let's do it.
Hey, Brett and Sally. This is Nick from Miami. Just wanted to call you because I had a question regarding how I should handle this flirtatious connection I think I have with my neighbor. So I had never met my neighbor before until a friend of mine came over and met her on the elevator, and she started kind of spinning game for me a little bit. So I said, hey, so I just noticed we're going to the same floor. You should meet my friend Nick. He's single. He's cute. He's a lawyer. And she seemed kind of interested. And then when we introduced each other in the hallway in front of our apartments, and she's really, really cute, and she definitely hits all the boxes for me physically. And the weird thing is that about a week later, she comes and knocks on my door and asks me if I can zip up her dress that she appeared to be going to a wedding or a gala or something. And I zipped up her dress, said she looked great, wished her she had a good time, and left it at that. Everybody seems to say that was not the move. So then a few weeks go by, and then yesterday I ran into her in the elevator again and asked her how her gala was. She said it was fun, and then she starts asking me a bunch of questions about my dog. We say goodbye at that point, and now I'm thinking, should I do something about this? Should I ask her out for a drink? I kind of get the vibe that, maybe there's something there. I don't know. Wanted to get your thoughts on it. Anyways, love the podcast. Hope to hear your response. Have a good one.
Mr. 305 over here.
I mean, I love this. I've been reading like a lot of like beach read romance novels lately.
Oh, so
this
they're
is just like that.
rom-com equivalent in a book.
Like ask this girl out, bro. She's clearly begging you to.
Yeah, this is
don't go walk over to somebody's apartment unzipped and be like, "Can you zip me
How
up?"
about that? I got a little chills there. I was like,
oh, should have asked her out right then.
Yeah.
Missed your shot. But I think you can still salvage this.
Yeah. We did a similar question where it was less of a, like, it was more of like a, what's the New York Times thing? Like the chance encounters where you saw somebody somewhere and the only way you,
no,
there was no follow up. There's no nothing. It was just like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
The elevator, and then it was done. This is different. This is different. She went over unzipped, and that dress could have ended up on the floor. I'm just saying that. Because
okay, well, it's not a porno.
I think all you have to do is ask her out.
Yeah.
Next time you see her, let's get a drink here. You are, in my opinion, not to mansplain, but to me, this feels like she wants you.
Yeah, I agree.
At the very least, to go on a date, right?
Yeah. How should he do it? Because what if he doesn't run into her in the hall?
Well, maybe, okay. How about reciprocate? You go knock on her door with a task, a faked thing. Like, hey, can you watch my dog? I have to go to the store. Can you watch my dog for like 2 seconds? Something. I don't know. It's just some sort of like reason to go over to her apartment. She already came over unannounced to zip up her dress. You gotta
Honestly,
like
what if he goes over there and asks her to tie his tie? Just a little like act, a little mirrored.
just mirror thing. Okay, you can do
Make
that.
up a fake wedding
Oh
and be
no,
like, I
just go
can't
ask her for
tie
something. Go,
a
hey,
bow tie.
do you have an
Cup
iron?
of sugar.
Yeah, do you have a cup of sugar? Do you have a steamer? Which,
Yeah.
by the way, my buddy has a portable steamer in Montana this weekend for the wedding.
I mean, yeah, portable
Uh,
steamers fuck.
They fuck. I'm on.
It's an
I'm on.
absolute must have item.
Yep.
And I have been on that train for about 6 years.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
If any portable steamer companies want to sponsor us, I will. I mean, I really like my Amazon one, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I left my hair dryer on the RV.
bummer.
Yeah, so I need a new one.
Was
if
it
you
a good
if you
one?
have any wrecks, no, it was fine. It was not yours either. That you
Oh, yeah,
Give
my
me.
good hair Josh one.
correct.
Little mint one.
I think the move is
What if he makes something and then brings it to her and is like, I just have like all of these like leftover cookies.
sure. I think she might think you're drugging her at that point, perhaps. So maybe stay away from edible things.
Okay.
But you ask her for something. You say, "Hey, can you help me with this or whatever?" And in that course, maybe not right away, maybe after, but just be like, "Also, would you like to grab a drink at some
Yeah.
point?" I think that's the easiest way to do it.
What a fun time for this guy.
Super fun
Just so flirty. Fun and flirty.
in Miami too. Everybody's
Sexy.
flirty. Boom.
Yeah.
I think that's easy.
Yeah. Ask
easy
her
answer.
out. This is, you just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Next one, Sally. Dear Brett and Sally, this is from Dave Mexico,
Okay.
who unclear if that's a real name or a fake name, but this
What
is
if this is from Dave and he wrote
this
it
is
in
Dave
Mexico?
Ruff. This is Dave Mexico.
Okay.
Dear Brett and Sally, first time, long time. Need some help with inter-office politics of sorts. I run a small firm with 3 other partners and 1 administrative assistant. For background, that assistant is technically our employee, but she's a critical part of our team and not treated any differently than we treat each other. She's one of the squad.
Yeah.
Also, she is right in the middle of the 4 partners by age. 2 of us are younger than her, 2 of us are older.
Okay.
She recently gave us save the date cards for her wedding in Mexico, which will take place roughly 6 months from now. Sorry, Sally, the wedding is not in Cabo. Apologies.
Like, are you saying that I'm not invited? I'm confused. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So, 2 questions for you. First, was this a simple courtesy because we are her bosses, or does she really want us to be there? If it matters, we have an unlimited vacation policy at our firm, so we know she didn't invite us in order to turn this into a pseudo work trip and having to avoid burning vacation days. And second, is it bad if some of us go and some don't? For example, am I making my other partners look like assholes if I'm the only one who shows up for her wedding? Thanks for any advice you can provide. Signed, Dave Mexico.
Okay. For the first question, I don't think that she's just asking to be nice.
I think the firm is small enough
Right.
where this is a legitimate invite.
Right.
For sure. This is not a pity invite. This is not a just looking for a gift invite.
Right.
This is legit.
And I mean, if it's small enough, there's a chance that she was going to only invite a couple of them and then was like, well, I can't invite 2 of them and not the rest of them. So maybe it is for some people, but also she could have not invited any of you and it wouldn't have been a big deal at all.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But at the same time, like, I don't believe that people, especially that are like, she seems like she might be a little bit older, like invite people to a Mexico wedding just for like shits and giggles.
No, because they're not cheap.
Right. Like they're going to have to travel to get there. If it was happening in the town that they live in,
Yeah.
like easy to be like, oh, come by, like whatever,
Sure.
you know? Or maybe she assumed that since it's in Mexico, they won't make the trip, but they're all her bosses. Like they probably would.
Yeah. I think that leads into the second part of the question. Like, I don't think if one of you goes and the others don't, she is not going to care. I don't think.
I actually kind of disagree with you on this.
Okay.
I think if she asked all of them and it's a small team, I think that everyone probably needs to make the effort to go, especially since she's their employee, to like show like
Okay.
their support, unless there's like a legitimate excuse. So that
Sure.
like we're saying 6 months from now, probably like late fall, like early winter, if there's
Mhm.
shit going on and like that you just can't swing it because your kids have something going on or
Yeah,
whatever.
if you're a partner that has, 3 kids who are 11, 17, and 14,
Right,
like,
but,
hey,
like
I'm sorry.
but if
this
you're
is-
like the partner who's like single or like has no kids or whatever,
Mhm.
and it's easier for you to travel, like that's understandable. But just like
Mhm.
not going because you don't want to go is not great. But
Fair.
I think if any of the partners don't go and have a legitimate excuse, like we just can't swing it with like childcare or the shit we have going on at home, that's understandable. But I
Mhm.
also don't think it just depends on who she's closest to too. Like I think
True.
it's nice for somebody to show up for sure.
Yeah, and I think if none of them showed up, it's a problem.
Yeah.
I think
Sounds like
it's-
he's going to, but I think that he should talk to his other partners and be like, listen, I think we try to need to make an effort.
Yeah.
And then also, since they're the partners, be like, if they can't go, maybe they need to send a really nice gift.
I think that's the move. Yeah, if they're her bosses, partners at a firm, it sounds like everybody's doing okay for themselves. If they really can't go, she is your one employee of the
Right.
firm, right? So make an effort to either do something very nice for her. Maybe it's like, hey, we're going to take you out. We can't go to your wedding. The week before, we're going to take you out
right.
to dinner. We're going to take you, like, this is kind of our little wedding celebration if you can't go. But have some representation there.
But I don't think he needs to feel bad about being the one going. Like
No,
that's, if
no.
anything, going to be make him look the best.
I think so too. I don't think you're making your partners look like assholes. If you go, I think you talk to them about it and say, hey,
Yeah.
I have fewer responsibilities when it comes to kids or dogs or
Right.
wives, whatever it may be, and just say, hey, I can make this happen.
But it's
Let's
also
figure
not his
something out.
responsibility to like represent the partners. You know what
Sure,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
the other people, if they decide not to go, they get to be the ones to like have the conversation with her. Like, so sorry.
Right. It's not on Dave Mexico to go to her and be like, hey, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Totally.
Just go and enjoy the Mexico wedding.
I wonder where it would be if it's not in Cabo.
Maybe like in Cancun or
Cancun,
like
Puerto
Playa
Vallarta.
Mujeres, Tulum.
Well,
somewhere.
Tulum wedding would be cool.
Yeah.
Quintana Roo. That's Tulum, right?
Yeah, that's like the peninsula.
Okay.
That's like the state.
The Yucatan.
Yeah, that's the Yucatan Peninsula.
You ever had
state.
yucca fruit? Or yucca? I
Is
don't
it
know if it's
called
a fruit.
Yucca.
Yucca? Yeah.
Root.
Yucca root. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Kind of like French fries.
Yeah. It's like a starchy.
Starchy. If you dip them in enough, they're supposed to be pretty healthy for you. If you dip them in enough sauce, they just kind of taste like fries.
But then are you negating the health?
Of course you are.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I roll. Love a good salad with a lot of balsamic on it.
Yeah.
Next one, Sally.
Yeah.
Hi, team. Hello. I recently reconnected with someone I've known for a while, but haven't talked to in many years. I'm imagining like a college ex, perhaps.
Okay.
We've gone out several times, and things are going really well. We're at the same place in our lives, talked through expectations, are very compatible, etc. Here's my question. How much information is too much information when it comes to past partners? Mostly talking sexual here. I've slept with a couple people that we both know and are likely to run into / have mutual friends with, but neither of us actually keep in touch with them. Is it weird to not tell him and potentially have a small run-in where he doesn't know what happened, or is it fair to keep that private? So my question, first of all, I need to know, when you say reconnect, were they like dating? Were they a thing? Were they a situationship?
Or maybe they were just friends.
Or just friends who are now kind of rekindling something, but to that point, what are they rekindling?
I
Because
think if
that
you're
makes
in a
difference.
relationship with somebody, I think it's normal to know about each other's sexual pasts.
Are you asking for a detailed, like a spreadsheet?
No.
Okay.
I think this is all very personal and dependent on the person.
Mhm.
I think I would want to know probably how many people they've slept with, at least a ballpark number, and especially if we were going to run into anybody. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
fair. Yeah.
I think it's important to know. I don't need a list of every name. I
Mhm.
don't need a list of what you did with that person.
Sure.
I just need to know that, like, maybe you hooked up with this person in the past, and there's a chance that when we go to this wedding, like, I'm going to run into that person.
Yeah. If we're going to see Dave Mexico on the street and you guys hooked up a couple years back, I don't need to know what happened. Just he and I
had a
little fling,
yeah,
little thing, or just a hookup.
Right. I think hookup is all encompassing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that we need to like differentiate here between like oral sex and regular sex.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Did you get horizontal?
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't need to know what position it was or like if you tried butt stuff. I don't care. But I would like to know if like one, you hooked up, and that for me, I mean, Will, like, especially moving to Texas, I definitely made out with several of my college guy friends who we now hang out with. Like, it's not a big deal at all because when I made out with said guy, whoever it was, like probably we were both drunk and it did not matter.
Yeah,
and like both of us are married now. But it's nice to know. So you're not like when a random joke comes up, because like now this is the type of relationship I have with some of my guy friends from college. Like probably made out one night, whatever, nothing happened. Any like there's no
wasn't a thing.
There was no like feelings or anything there. Yeah. But like I guarantee you at some point in the last 6 years that Will and I have been together, we've been at dinner with somebody and somebody like made a joke like, oh, remember New Year's Eve, Sally, when we like made out and I lost my phone? And it's like, it's not the best feeling for your partner to like find out at that moment in front of everyone else.
That's fair.
So I think, and like, this is kind of going back to like, Will, like same thing when we go back to Michigan, if there's anybody that he had like a little fling or hookup with, it's nice for me to know just so that like, I'm not like, looking stupid.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's like what's the word I'm looking for? Like the line here is if you're going to see them on a regular or even infrequent, but they live in the same city basis, that's probably a good bar. Like, hey, so and so and so and so, we can see them out or whatever. If we do, I made out with them or hooked up. Right. You know, whatever. But it's like if you went on a business trip to LA, you're like, well, okay, so January 3rd, 2018, I was in LA and
yeah. I don't need a detailed account. And I know this is different for every couple, but for me and Will, it was like, here are the people that like, this is a ballpark amount of people that I've hooked up with. And here are some that you may see. Right. And honestly, I don't even think that as it's happened in our relationship, it's ever, we're like so secure in each other that it's never been like, okay, we've got to go through this like line by line. It's been like, oh, he knows that I like made out with a bunch of people in college. And then if we happen to see one of them, I'll be like, oh, I like made out with him. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to like list out the people that you've hooked up with before you possibly run into them.
Sure. No, it's just like, it's sort of in the moment. Yeah.
I'm not a jealous person at all, but I would rather know than not know.
I think that's fair.
But I think every person's different. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like how I was just like, it kind of more comes up in conversation than anything. It's not like, there was no like, so here's the list.
Let's sit down and talk about this.
It's like, oh, like, what have you been up to in the last couple of years? Well, I had a fling with her and hooked up with her. Like you might see her around. The thing that maybe like be careful of is if you like work with somebody and you hooked up or maybe consistently hooked up and now you're around that person every day and your significant other's like, oh, so you still see them all the time.
Right. I think that is more important to know.
Okay.
Because I feel like as a partner, you deserve to know, like, if somebody that your partner is interacting with all the time, they have a history with. Like,
I think that's fair. Yeah.
But again, I think that this is easily brought up situationally. Like, if you're going to go to a wedding or some sort of reunion or something where you probably are going to run into some of these people, that's an easy way to bring it up. Like,
right. Hey, I don't think you should feel like, if you are out there and you have not done this with your partner, I don't think you should feel guilty about it at all.
No.
It's just totally a situational case by case basis where, oh, we're going to Dairy Queen and Ben works there. I hooked up with him at some point.
I mean,
you know,
do you want to admit that you hooked up with somebody who works at Dairy Queen?
You know, nothing wrong with working at Dairy Queen, Sally.
I'm just talking about like, what if you were frequenting Dairy Queen all the time and like getting blizzards? And did you want to admit that you were like, a blizzard?
It's weird
fiend?
to see Dairy Queen on your credit card statement like a lot. I've never had Dairy Queen aside from a blizzard, but I've never done the the upside down thing.
Well, they're supposed to turn the Blizzard upside down too.
Maybe they did. I don't
The
know.
issue with Dairy Queen is there
Texas
are not
stop sign.
there's like not any in the like Austin proper city limits. You got to like go way the hell out there to like go get a Blizzard.
Oh yeah. I guess I haven't like seen. There's a
They're,
Sonic on
like-
South Lamar that I pass all the time. Like something sounds
like,
good from there.
Yeah, but Blizzards are better than Sonic Blasts.
Okay. I don't have a take on that. I feel like people are screaming at their cars right now, but I don't have a take
If
on it.
you disagree with me that Sonic Blasts are better than, if you think Sonic Blasts are better than Blizzards, like you have a problem,
Okay.
and we can fight it out in the DMs.
Okay. Did you see my boneless nuggets boneless wings? Yikes. Boneless wings versus bone-in wings blog?
I saw that you did it. I didn't have time to read it. So what was your take?
My
here?
take is that boneless wings are far superior to
Yeah.
bone-in wings.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
As a
thank you.
person who doesn't fuck with bones, like I don't want to deal with like taking it. But that's why I've always been a Tinder girl. I don't
Mhm.
like drumsticks or thighs or anything like that. It's just too much work.
I
And
totally
I
agree.
do like wings,
Mhm.
but like if I can eat like pop a thing in my mouth and not have to like spit a bone out, like hell yeah.
100%. It's all
I
about.
mean, they are just nuggets tossed in sauce. Like, let's be serious.
I said they're nuggets with a high school diploma. That's what
Yeah.
they are. Because I like the cleanliness side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Using a fork, I can get a better dunk and more surface area on the ranch
Uh-huh.
or blue cheese. I like the sauce more than anything, and boneless wings tend to have better sauce to surface area ratios to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah.
I like not having to deal with bones. I don't like bone fragments or cartilage, and
Yeah.
I think half the time what I'm eating is raw chicken and get freaked out.
I do too. Bones freak me out.
Bones, and then you just chew. You're chewing on a piece of chewy, like,
And then
here's-
you're like, this is cartilage.
is this raw? Is this cartilage? I don't want to deal with either one, frankly.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll fuck up a drumstick or two here and there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll eat wings, but
Yeah.
if I'm given the choice, I'm gonna go boneless.
Thank you, Sally.
People
That's all we
probably
needed.
hate us, but
I did call them nuggets. Somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, you called them nuggets."
call.
I get it. I get
It
the
is a
argument.
nugget.
I get the argument. Speaking of meat, boy, this heavy, awesome sponsor episode.
Yeah.
Because ButcherBox has stocked my meat fridge, aka just my freezer, full for the summer, Sally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking pork loins. I'm talking steak tips. I'm
You
talking
could probably get wings
clams.
from ButcherBox, huh?
Oh, you absolutely can.
I
get
don't
wings
know
from
that I've ever gone
ButcherBox.
searching for them
You can.
because I
They do-
normally order like meat from them.
I think. Don't quote me on this. I think they can do. You can order flats or drumsticks specifically too.
I think that that's probably correct. I stick to the basic like chicken breasts with
Mhm.
them because they're great. Because I just don't make a lot of wings, but I'm sure
Sure.
you could.
But I did a steak from ButcherBox the other day.
Mm.
Did a little reverse sear on it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. This summer, be like Sally and myself and add some power players to your grilling lineup with ButcherBox. ButcherBox is the subscription service that delivers high-quality meat and seafood right to your doorstep. Choose from a carefully curated selection of 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, wild-caught seafood, and more. And right now, new subscribers can receive a free grilling bundle in their first order. Mentioned I made steak. I've done chicken. I've done the steak tips.
You've done the surf and turf.
I've done the surf and the turf.
Yep.
I still have a lobster tail sitting there just staring at me, like waiting to be poached in a fuck ton of butter.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ButcherBox. I'm sorry for swearing. I'm excited about it. I'm psyched to do this. Every month, ButcherBox ships a curated selection of high quality meat right to your home. Free shipping for the continental US with no antibiotics or added hormones. It's packed fresh and shipped frozen for your convenience so you can save time on your next grocery store trip. You can customize your own box or go with one of theirs. Either way, you get exactly what you want. By the way, unbeatable value. Less than $6 per meal on average. Are you kidding me?
It's great.
Are you kidding me? Get summer sizzling started with this special ButcherBox deal for our listeners. Free bacon for life, Sally.
That's an unbelievable deal.
You kidding me? Plus $10 off. They're going to throw you free bacon for life and give you a discount.
Wild.
Are you serious? Sign up today at butcherbox.com/mailin and use code MAILIN to get 1 pack of free bacon in every box for the life of your membership, plus $10 off your first order. That's butcherbox.com/mailin and use code MAILIN to claim this deal. How about that? At the next one, Sally, are you ready?
Yes.
Sally, this one's towards you. Sorry to harp more on the, quote, non-romantic best friend point, but here we go.
Here we go.
I believe you.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn
First
it.
of all, I believe you.
Here we go.
I also, this one takes quite the turn. So this is interesting.
I know that like all of my training with all of my romance novels lately is going to really
It will
work for this one.
This is more like best friends angle, but from her perspective.
Okay,
and here we go. I also am in one of these best friendships and would appreciate your advice because I'm scared to lose my best friend. He and I have been best friends for years. We definitely do things together that couples might do, like go on weekend trips. We go to dinner with his parents when they're in town, and so on. I've never had romantic feelings for him, though. Hard as it is to admit, I've known for a while he has feelings for me. Our friends say he has feelings too, and will often make comments along the lines of, quote, when are you two just going to start dating? There have been times where I've wondered if it's worth pursuing, but I'm simply not attracted to him. Beyond that, I know what we want out of life is very different, like kids versus no kids, where we want to live, how much we like to travel, etc. At some point, it would end up not working out between us, and I would lose my best friend. Each of us have been in separate relationships over the years, and we frequently give each other dating advice. I'm newly out of a year-long relationship, by the way. It took me a few days to tell him when my ex and I broke up because I didn't want to bring any feelings up for him again. I really, really don't want to lose my best friend. I've lost friends to this before, being on both sides of it, by the way, and it sucks. I don't want to hurt him either. Is there anything I can do? Just hope one of us enters a relationship again soon? Question mark. Thanks in advance. Oh boy, we are deep. We're deep in the friend zone here.
Okay, I'm going to just preface this with, I'm going to try to give good advice.
Okay.
But I'm always the person who caught feelings.
now you're on the other side.
So
of it. Now you're
I'm probably not going to say the best thing because I was like, always the one who was
break their heart
love.
And then key their car.
Yeah.
And then,
no.
And then pine for years.
Okay. A couple things that I have questions about.
Okay.
Obviously, these are rhetorical because this person can't answer, but have any of her relationships in the past been weirded out by this best friendship?
Ooh, okay. Good question.
Because here's where I think people get into some murky waters. For her, if she's been in relationships, has this friend ever been an issue with like her and a boyfriend?
Okay.
Because you're doing shit that you should do with a significant other, with him, right?
Yeah,
so
if you're going on weekend trips,
but
you've been with a
dinner
boyfriend,
with the parents,
it's like, oh, okay,
stuff like that. If that's happening while you're in a relationship, that is, I think, a little worrisome because you should be doing that with your partner.
Sure.
You know? Okay, so that's my first question is like, have there ever been issues with a relationship she's had based on this friendship with this other guy? Second of all, like, I think that there is sometimes these things just phase out. Like if you really do enter a relationship with somebody or he enters a relationship with somebody and you just move on, likely if you really do find like the one that you're going to marry, the friendship that she currently has with this guy is going to change.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I just think that when there's feelings involved, it changes the way that you interact with somebody else.
Right.
Because if you have a partner that you want to be with, you're going to do less and less stuff with him as your best friend. Right,
with the best friend.
Because your partner is going to become your best friend.
Sure. Yeah, that's how it works.
But if my other question is like, are you being honest with yourself? Like, is there any part of any relationship that's ended because of him, or because maybe you haven't given yourself fully to a partner, or because you have him? Does that make
Right.
sense?
He is checking boxes, probably emotionally.
Besides probably the sexual ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that maybe are you fulfilled by that in a way? And then another partner checks the sexual ones. And then so
Mhm.
you're kind of fulfilled totally, but it's also not like it just doesn't work long term.
So here's an example of one of these relationships that I've been in.
Okay.
And to be fair, neither of us was ever like fully in love with the other one. We were
Okay.
really, really close all of college.
Mhm.
And we were really like into other people most of the
Okay.
time, but we were best friends. But I think there was always a part, one of us was thinking like, okay, like, should we just date because
Mhm.
the rest of our friends want us to date, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were times where like, I mean, I definitely made out with him
Mhm.
several times, and then that always got confusing. But there were times, especially towards the end of college, where we were like, should we just date? And then it was like, probably not. And
Mhm.
then several years after college, when we lived in the same city, that was like, well, like, I like this girl, but like, she's not really giving me the time of day. Like, maybe you and I should date. And I kind of did the same thing with him. It was
Mhm.
like, well, like, it just is easy, if that
Convenient,
makes sense. It's convenient
easy. And you know
easy.
what? Probably the biggest thing is it's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
All that being said, we never let it cross that way because it was like
Mhm.
neither of us really liked the other person enough to like pursue
Yeah.
it. We were very like, one of us had feelings maybe a couple times throughout the years that we were friends, but it was never like that strong of feelings, and it was never reciprocated.
Sure.
So it just like
Mhm.
went on. Now we're both married and have kids. Like, I don't even talk to him anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm so sad about that. I think if we
No, it's
ran
just
into each other, we would like catch up. But over the years, that's just faded because of our lives, and that's
Mhm.
okay. It's the same. We talked about this last week. It's like the same thing happens with your own girlfriends. Like, you have
Yeah.
friends that you just are in different stages of your life, and so you move on from them, and that's just how friendships. That's just the road that friendships take sometimes. Like, you're not
Totally.
always going to be best friends with this guy. Like,
Mhm.
sorry. If you have
Yeah.
a partner that you want to be with, that you trust fully and like give your whole self to, there isn't going to be room for this guy in your life anymore.
Totally.
So
And that's okay.
I think
And that's
it's
okay.
okay to recognize that and to mourn it. And I don't think, if this is working for y'all right now, totally ignoring it and then just like continuing to be friends, great, do that. Live in denial. That's fine. But I think when it becomes where one or both of y'all are being affected, i.e., he's not seeking relationships with other people because he's obsessed with you,
and he's like he's too hopeful
he's
type of
holding
thing.
out.
Now, I want to be careful. Like, this is one side of the story. Let's not like careful not to patronize the guy too much and being like, well, he actually is looking out for other relationships and he's doing enough on his own, but still kind of confides or still like
Mm-hmm.
comes over and or invites me all over the place. Like, I want to be careful of that, but yeah, I don't know. She says she's like wondered if it's worth pursuing, but just not attracted to him. And
I
don't
think it's
know.
more hurtful to pursue something just because your friends are pushing you to do it and it's easy and comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I think you can let this go on
Mm-hmm.
until it is getting to the point where one of you is affected. So it's going to come to a head at some point, because either it's going to affect your ability to become close to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to affect his ability to become close to somebody else. He won't be able to stomach
You being
not
with a
telling
new,
you or
Yeah.
you being with somebody else or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things is going to happen, or you're going to get together. And that's like the romance novel trope, is like at some point you're going to realize that he's made for you and
Mm-hmm.
date him. But this is the issue. I think there's a chance that if you're not attracted to him, if he could find the right person, unfortunately, you're probably not going to be the best of friends anymore.
Yeah,
But it's going to be the healthiest thing for both of y'all. Because like, I look back
I think
on
so too.
some of the like best friends that I was obsessed with and like in love with, and I wish somebody would have told me like, you got confused because you were spending all of your time with somebody of the opposite sex that you were attracted to.
Mhm.
and your own friends told you, oh my God, y'all would be great together. Like you should date, you do everything together anyway, blah, blah, blah. And then you let your mind trick you into thinking that that was like what you wanted.
Sure.
So I think that this guy, that she is her best friend, eventually when they stop becoming best friends, he's going to realize like, maybe I wasn't in love with her. And because I was best friends with the gender that I'm attracted to, I confused that in my mind because my mind couldn't differentiate between the two.
I think I agree with that. I don't know if I totally buy it, but I agree for the most part in that. Because
I don't think there's any need to, if you're really that attached to him, I don't think there's any need to change anything until it's affecting one of your lives in a significant way.
But I also don't want her to be like
stringing him along.
One, stringing him along, but two, I don't want her to be like, have you like actively pushing him into situations where he could potentially find somebody, being like, oh, have you like, let me see your Hinge, let me see your Bumble, like let me get on for you, let me do this, like let me force you into a relationship just so we can figure our thing out quicker. Because like that feels like
right.
the
I
equivalent
think
of
you just keep being best friends and let shit happen naturally.
Yeah, I think.
But I also think if 6 months from now you're like trying to date somebody and they're like, this is weirding me out, that like Matt is like taking you to dinner with his parents and like, well, you haven't met my parents yet, and I like want to move in with you, then maybe that's the time to like have the conversation. And unfortunately, I don't think, to this person who wrote in, you're never going to continue to be best friends with him when you are with the person that you're going to marry.
Agreed. Is there any way that you would suggest laying this out to him? Like, or would you? Is there any benefit to just being like, well, we got to talk about this?
I mean, if you care about him enough and you really don't want him to suffer, and you know that he feels about the way that he feels about you, then I think that that's worth pursuing.
Kind of say like, I know you have feelings for me, and give him like, I've tried and I just can't get there for one thing or another. Like maybe you can say, we're never going to get married because of the kids thing, the travel thing. Like you can kind of go, you don't have to say, I'm not attracted to you. You just say, I know we're not going to get to that point. So we can still be friends, but I don't want you. Yeah, it will. And it will.
And probably for the better, it's worth like getting to a point where you can be around each other and not be hurting each other.
Right. Maybe that's as much as I would like hesitate to do that, because I'm not that guy to confront things. Maybe that's the best.
Yeah.
Lay it out.
But I mean, isn't this the tale as old as time?
Tale as old as time.
Just every
communicate.
No, but I mean, like this is why men and women cannot be friends.
Okay.
They cannot be platonic friends if one of them has feelings for the other.
When feelings are involved, it changes.
This is why.
Because I think feelings are different than flirty and tension, though.
Right.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Society teaches us that, like, your own friends are perpetuating it. You should date him. Y'all are great together.
Right.
Why? Because we read books and we watch movies and TV shows where people have been best friends, and then they develop feelings and they like have this wonderful relationship and they end up together and like everything's perfect because they've been best friends for forever, and now they have like all this history. But that is not how real life works for most people. And that is why it is so hard for men and women to be platonic friends.
With caveats.
You and I can be great friends.
Correct.
We're going to make the real set tonight changes. But like, we're both in relationships. There isn't any sexual tension between us.
No. I'm saying that with single people, they can be
casual friends. You cannot be casual friends with somebody.
Okay. Best friends. There we go. There's the caveat. You can't be best friends. You can be friends. You can flirt. There can even be tension, like physical tension. But that doesn't cross like until you're
when they're doing
texting
all the
somebody, everybody. Yeah, right. When you're fulfilling emotional needs in a relationship,
they are no longer your best friend. I mean, they are your best friend, but you have crossed the line, and it's very, very hard to go back once it happens. And I'm telling you, there is chemistry in your brain that looks at someone who's the opposite sex and says, like, we're doing all of these things. He's fulfilling all my emotional needs. And one person every single time. I'm telling, like 99.9% of the time.
Okay.
We can continue. I'm going to just have like a whole episode where I like lay down the science of this.
Maybe we'll
I love like a data-based.
We need 2 more combatants in this conversation.
Okay.
We need to get like.
We are going to do a special mail-in. I don't know when. We will let you know. We'll make a reel about it.
Another One Direction song.
Each side to argue.
Yeah.
We're going to have people ask questions about this. And I'm going to bring the scientific data to back this shit up.
Okay.
I'll find my partner who's going to argue with
me.
Be
on your team.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mail-in court. Gavel.
I'm very looking forward to this episode. Let's do it within the next month.
Let's do the last one quick because this is what we always do with question number 6. Usually it's a place, maybe a noun or a verb that we like doing and some recommendations. Okay. Sally and Brett, first time, long time, headed to San Diego in September for a wedding and have a few extra days in the area for fun. Food and activity recommendations. Thanks. San Diego, Sally.
Whale's vagina.
Are you super familiar with San Diego?
We did go to San Diego in, we went to Del Mar. But yes, I've been to San Diego several times. My family lives there. We had a great time in San Diego.
It is as advertised when it comes to weather. It was 70 degrees and sunny when I was there May of last year. Absolutely beautiful. I was in Pacific Beach, so a little north of downtown San Diego.
Yep.
Pacific Beach and not Mission Beach. Maybe it is Mission Beach. PB and Mission Beach. I got a California burrito, which is a burrito with French fries in it. Unbelievable. I went to the beach, obviously. I surfed for the first time. Not well, but I did. I got up, fell down quickly.
Okay.
The boardwalk is phenomenal. What is the Gaslight District? What's the downtown San Diego one? By the baseball stadium. I think it's Gaslight. Somebody's yelling at me right now. I'm sorry. Gaslight San Diego. Gaslamp District.
Is Gaslight Amsterdam?
That's the red light.
The red light district.
Gaslighting is that's a term in a relationship.
When you're gaslighting.
Yes.
Oh God, everyone's like yelling at us.
Yelling. Gaslamp is cool. Apparently it's like sort of the Bourbon Street of San Diego. I'm sure that's a blast to do at night. I'm trying to think of what I went to. I went to El Prez. I went to like PB Ale House or something like that. There's a street, I don't know what the street's called, in Pacific Beach that is straight out of like Rocket Power, if you remember that show.
Yeah.
Just very boardwalk, beachy, really good sushi spots, really good Mexican food, really good beach fare. There's a thing on PB that you can get a margarita that's like 24 ounces for $6. They're huge. They're hilariously large margaritas, and they are very strong. So
did you do any Coronado Island?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I would though.
Yeah.
Heard that's pretty cool.
It is cool. So we did San Diego, or we did Del Mar in January, but I've done it a couple times with my family and just like randomly. Obviously Del Mar, Encinitas, all that's a lot more north. This past time we stayed in Del Mar, which was like awesome.
Yep.
It was the one place so we got a lot of wrecks. We did a lot of stuff in La Jolla because it was easy and close.
Yep. Hikes in La Jolla, by the way. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Honestly, the 2 favorite things that we did when we were there was go to Torrey Pines and have lunch.
Good call.
Obviously, Will couldn't play golf because it was just us, but we kind of just had lunch at Torrey and watched the golfers tee off and come in.
Very cool.
And it's beautiful over there. It was like a perfect day. We had the best time. But Will's played Torrey a couple times. I know that he's done it recently on a bachelor party, which I'm sure he is one of his favorite courses. He loves it. Or maybe I'm speaking out of term here, but he's definitely.
I think he's definitely said that before.
And then we went to the taco stand in Encinitas, which I think Will and Dave and Dylan went to when they went to that Callaway thing. And I was like, okay, chill out. It's not the end of the world. And then multiple people while we were there was like, oh, you need to go to the taco stand.
Gotcha.
I think Will got a burrito with fries in it. I guess it's
California burrito.
Yeah. I got tacos. It was great. There was a line out the door. We got there early and went right in. But then as soon as we were eating, there was like people wrapped around the place,
Yeah,
and
that
it
makes
was
sense.
great.
That's,
We did a lot of stuff in La Jolla
yeah.
because we had Fritz with us, and it was easy to like go hike around the beach and hang out.
We hiked a trail. I forget the name of it, but it's one of those trails that goes like into the mountains, and it goes right by the or kite surfers,
Yeah.
whatever the cool. They're like in canoes, airborne. It looks sick. And that was a really cool hike. I did it barefoot. That's what you're supposed to do, and I'm never doing that again.
Yeah,
I
that
walked
sounds
home
terrible.
with the worst blisters on my feet of my life. It was
So something that Will did and I've done before, which you have to have an obvious connect to do this, but it's very tight.
Ho Chi Minh Trail is what it's called.
Oh, yeah. Is go to Miramar, which
Oh.
is very topical given Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Super, super, super interesting and cool and like badass.
Okay.
And kind of the same thing on Coronado Island. I mean, you can see a lot of these like fighter jets coming in and out, which is really tight. We stayed at the Hotel Del when I was like really young. It's been forever, but it's like if you have, I mean, obviously that's like a whole different trip in itself.
Sure.
At least a little day trip to like go across the island and like bop around for a few hours. It's not like you're going for lunch and then like leaving. You need to like give yourself some time to walk around and do stuff.
There you go.
San Diego to me is a really approachable city.
I loved it. I need to go back this summer.
It's a little bit less stressful. I mean, it's a lot of it less stressful than LA because I feel like it's a lot more condensed and it's easier to get around and it's a lot more relaxed.
You know what it is? It's the best parts of LA outside of like the celebrity in a city.
Well, arguably that's the celebrities are the worst part of LA.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
Being in LA this weekend, there's just a sense of like when you're in like Hollywood and some of those like neighborhoods of LA where everyone is like looking around to see if anybody else around them is famous.
Was they be like, oh my God, that's Sally from the, was that Sally from the MAILIN?
And I like that superficial part of LA, like bothers me to my core, but there's also great parts of LA. Like I love being in Santa Monica or like
Santa Monica and Venice Beach are, if I ever go to LA again, which I'm sure I will, that is like Redondo.
Or like there's like some of my friends live in Las Vegas, which is like so fun. It's very celebrity driven, but if you're in the right spots and you're not like being a seen and be seen brunch, whereas I feel like San Diego is like the California, like it's exactly what you think of like California teens beach. My cousin,
100%. Oh, everybody's super hot in San Diego too.
My cousins who live in San Diego, like we were dying laughing because they're like in high school and college, and they're like the most Cali bros, Cali girls you can like even like just conjure in your mind. Like, I loved them, but Will and I were just like, they think that we're just like the biggest losers on the planet.
They made more fun of you behind your back
sure
than any teens ever have combined.
Shouts to my cousins Brie and Brock, who definitely thought that I was like the like lamest mom on the planet.
Absolutely. They're like, oh, is Sally DeFreeze dead? Like,
yeah, they're like, oh, no.
Oh my God, she can't even surf, dude. She can't even get on a wave.
No, but I love San Diego. I want to go back. We had a great time. It was a very, very easy trip, and that we had a baby with us, and it was still super easy.
There you go. My buddy Adam, shouts to him. He's moving to Austin, but he has like 6 more months in San Diego.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
You gotta go out.
I gotta go out. I gotta go out and see him.
That's it.
Maybe I'll plan that. That's San Diego. Bottom line, get north of downtown for a couple days if you can. Maybe the wedding might already be there.
Go south to Tijuana.
Or go south to Tijuana. Take your pick. That's going to do it for the mail-in, Sally. Anything before we head out?
No.
Any shower thoughts?
I don't have a shower thought.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I guess my shower thought lately is that like it's the summer of flirty Sally. Like I'm gonna get my flirt on with everyone.
Flirty Sally.
I'm talking everyone is gonna be charmed by me.
Okay.
Boys and girls.
Is that like? Is that going to be a change? Is that going to be an outfit vibe? Is that
no?
Like more
I
of
just have realized recently that like when I first became a mom, that took a lot of like my like thoughts and emotions, and I was so focused on Fritz that I like lost my ability to like be charming to people and like talk to people.
Okay.
Flirty is like probably the wrong word, but I have made the decision recently that I was like, I need to start being more conversational with people, because it's so easy to like get into a rhythm where you're just like totally introverted and ready to stay home and
focus on
not
your child,
not
and
talk to your coworkers
Yeah.
and like just be in a shell.
Mhm.
And the past couple weeks, I think I've really tried to make an effort of like, I'm going to try to do spontaneous shit. Like Will and I are going to try to like go out on a Friday night.
Whoa.
And like,
Okay.
I'm going to like talk to my coworkers about their
Yeah.
lives and not just like sit and eat lunch by myself.
Okay. So, Sally, it's the
So
phoenix
I'm
rising from the ashes.
coming at you as
It's like a flower
someone who's going to just
reborn.
knock your pants off with conversation.
With conversation.
Yeah.
Fun. I don't have a shower thought. That's maybe I'll do the same.
You want to be flirty, Brett, this
I'm
summer?
gonna be a conversationalist this summer.
I want people to walk away from a conversation with me and be like, damn.
It's the most engaging motherfucker I've ever met.
Yeah. And you know what it is? You've got to ask I literally asked my friend Allegra this weekend because she is like great at conversation.
Okay.
I was like, what are you doing? She's like, you got to stop asking people about like what they've been doing, their work, their,
Mhm.
you know, whatever. And you got to get to the hard hitting questions of like, are you more like your mom or dad?
Oh, yeah.
Like you just have to ask people about like shit that like brings up their like childhood and like what their thoughts are on certain things. And you don't have to talk about like politics and like morals and shit like that, but you need to ask them questions that are like thought provoking.
You got to tap in. You know what my favorite one is like, it's stupid framing it as like if you won the lottery or if you had all the money in the world. But I love asking people like, if you had to work for fun, what would you do?
Yeah. I think it's so easy when you run into friends or you have lunch with friends to just get into the groove of like, this is what we've been doing and we're busy and we're raising Fritz and da-da-da. And then you like probably gossip about some of your mutual friends for a little bit and then like that's it.
And that's it.
And I'm like, I need to form deeper connections with people.
Okay. So I asked this question on the Washed Media survey specifically we did.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts to everybody who filled it out. Thank you. But the last question was to describe your aesthetic. So Sally, describe your aesthetic.
Well, my aesthetic right now is just like lemon spritz summer. Like I just want to.
It's lemon. Oh, that's a question I had for you. Orange wine. Explain to me this.
I don't know. I need people to give me the rec so I can like really parse this out.
So it's a play on rosé, or do you start with a white and add oranges and then it becomes orange wine? Because you can't like
about it's a white varietal and there's a way that it's gone through an orange or something. Somebody sent me a message about it. I haven't even read it. I legitimately do not know anything about orange wine. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about orange wine.
Okay. I'll stop asking.
But my friend that I was with this weekend was like, oh, no one even drinks rosé in LA anymore. It's all about orange wine. And I was like, well, shit, I'm not saying I'm going to go orange wine. I'm saying I would like to be educated and then I'm going to do a little comparison for myself. Okay. I'm intrigued for
Maybe
sure.
that's another reel you can do too. No night changes.
Yeah.
Sally tests orange wine out.
Yeah.
Okay. My aesthetic, by the way, somebody wrote in and said I'm a lake house personified. I'm just that. That's just me.
I'm really embracing summer right now. Like I'm going to be a summer
Sally.
girl because last summer I was like postpartum and like feeling like shit and never left my house.
Here we go. Sally's back.
It's like
Sally's back.
Hot MILF summer.
Hot MILF summer.
Just drinking spritzes.
Okay.
Hot.
Okay. You heard it here
being
first.
An endearing conversation with people.
Next time we do this podcast, it will officially be summer. So let us be the first to say it's hot MILF summer for Sally DeFries.
Yeah, that's right.
For me, it's lake house summer, I guess.
Oh, you got to get a lake house.
I know I do. I got a buddy with a boat now. Shouts to Harbs.
Yeah.
Shouts to Dave Mexico who wrote on this too. That's going to do it for us. Please subscribe, rate 5 stars, review, and tell a friend about the MAILIN podcast. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write it in at the link in the Twitter bio at MAILIN Podcast. Speaking of Twitter, Sally, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Sally DeFries on Instagram and Twitter.
There you go. Randy, thank you. Behind the ones and twos. I am Brett Merriman at Schmerriman on both Instagram and Twitter. See y'all next week.
Bye.